she's talking about deep personal stuff, she
Mm-hmm.
decided that she would never reveal her face. And
Mm-hmm.
turns out, like as we talked on the show, I believe, and I think she also believes now that part of the huge success that she's discovering right now, like not only because she's a good communicator and podcaster and her stories are interesting, is because she never revealed her face. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a touch of mystery there, and
Oh yeah, mystery. Yeah.
people love mystery. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
No, I think so too. The the other thing is we started our show so long ago that I've had children and they've all grown up, and so I didn't we talk about weird things and so forth, and I didn't want that to be a burden on my kids either. So I think that's
Mm.
the other reason I've kind of kept the persona all these years. And now it's just second nature,
Mm.
It's just it is what it is. So
Bob, talking about mysteries and and weird stuff, I do think we share interest in common. And it's related to that picture that you have in the back of your room, the blue, the little green guys there.
oh
Um,
yeah.
so I'm a huge UFO guy. Yesterday I
Mhm.
spent about 1 hour and a half watching those circle documentaries.
Okay, I love those. Yeah.
I'm like really into it. So I think I don't need to ask you, but do you think aliens are real?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, of course,
So
right? Yeah.
yeah, the pictures I taken all the pictures behind me. You can't see all of them, but the alien one is from Roswell, New Mexico. I went down to Roswell, and that's at the UFO
Museum.
museum in
Yeah.
Roswell. Yeah. And then the other one on the other side is Stonehenge, and I got a picture at Stonehenge where it's small for you, but I somehow managed to get a picture where you can't see all the people that are there that
Mm.
day, which was great. And then above my head is a picture from Van Meter, Iowa, which is a cryptid site for a thing called the Van Meter Visitor.
Oh, it's not
But
on frame. I'm sorry.
what's that? It's out of frame, right?
It's
You
out of
can't
frame.
see that
Yeah,
one. It's
yeah.
above my hair there. But yes, I do think that there's aliens, and I can tell you a UFO story if you want to hear it.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So I too have been interested in the topic for a long time, and even as a kid and so forth, would read a lot of books and watch all the shows and all that kind of stuff. But in 2000, in May of 2005, I was outside my house, uh, swinging my children on the swing set, and this is at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, broad daylight. It's not dusk. It's not, it's just a really nice day in May, and I'm swinging the kids. And at the time, my son was young, and he liked the no one like airplanes would go overhead, and he was little, and I'd say, look, there goes an airplane, right? And because we actually at the time we lived near an Air Force base, and at times a lot of airplanes would go overhead. So we're swinging and so forth, and I'm kind of looking up to see if there's an airplane, and then I would say, hey buddy, there's an airplane, and he would look at it, and laugh and think that was interesting. And that's all I was doing. I wasn't looking for anything else. So I look up and I see a sphere flying overhead, a ball, a metal sphere. This is in 2005. So, I'm just shocked. This is something that I've never ever seen. It's not a plane. There's no wings, right? There's no nothing that, like a plane. It literally looks like a giant silver ball in the sky, and it seems to be, to me. I mean, I don't fly or anything. Oh, my cat wants out now. He's I have a cat in here with me, but just give me a second.
Of course, no problem. Damn, a metosphere. From what I know, everyone, a lot of those UFOs are like spheres. Like they're different
Yeah,
types
yeah,
of shapes, right?
yeah. All times I'm sorry, I had to let him out, but because he was going to keep crying. But yeah, this metal ball in the sky. Now, the in 2005, I hadn't read much about spherical UFOs, and so I watched it, and it went basically from, I caught it out of the corner of my eye because I was watching for planes. It seemed to be at about the same height as a plane, which is around 10,000 feet or something. And it seemed to be, this is all guesstimating. I'm not a pilot or anything, so this is all from a layperson's perspective. But it seemed to be about 4 times the size of the jet in the sky, right? The airplane. So, but it was not long. It was a ball. So if you can imagine the front end of a plane 4 times as big. And it went from southeast to northwest over my head, essentially, in maybe about 35, 45 seconds. I just totally lucked out to be able to see it. If I had not looked up at the time I looked up, I would have never seen it. No noise. No, I saw the front of it. I saw the back of it. Perfectly round, looked like. I could see it going in and out of clouds, right? So the clouds would be in front of it and behind it. And it went off to the northwest and went out of sight. And I was just shocked. My kids didn't notice it. I didn't say anything to them. Miles, I've told this story on our show, and Miles was like, "Why didn't you take a picture?" This is the time in 2005 where the phone on your camera was a piece of crap. I could have took a picture and it would have looked like nothing because there was no zoom. There was nothing on your phone cameras at that time. And for me, I hadn't really read about spherical UFOs that much. And so after I finished playing with the kids and everything, and later that night, I looked up about spherical UFOs and I couldn't find a whole lot on the internet at that time. And so it was really shocking to me. Most of the things that I'd read about were saucers or triangles or, that kind of, cylinders, cigar shapes. And so I thought, this is really weird. And so then over the next few weeks or whatever, I really was trying to find more information. And I happened to find a site at the time called UFOmaps.com. I don't think it's in existence anymore. But thankfully, I found on UFO Maps they were dropping pins on maps for sightings, and somebody in the town not too far away said they saw a sphere in the sky on the same day around the same time that I did. And so yeah, it was really weird. And even though I've been involved in this, it was one of those things where it was like, for me, that was the confirmation of things. There are things, right? I didn't see any people, some people, nothing beamed a thought into my head, which is people ask me that and so forth. I just saw it and it went by, and it's like, we don't have any ball-shaped planes or anything that I'm aware of, at least even back in 2005. And so it was one of those confirmations of like, weird things are out there, and you just have to be paying attention. I have a friend, his name's I call him Dr. J, and he is a psychologist. And so I was telling my friend Dr. J about it, and he's like, "Oh, Bob, you read about," because we talk about this stuff, and he goes, "You read about it and so forth, so you just manifested this in your mind." And I'm like, "Dr. J," so here I'm telling the doctor, right? I'm like, "I have been interested in this for my whole life. Why would I wait until now to manifest this in my mind? I would have done it when I was a kid. It made no sense." But he doesn't believe in all this stuff. And so his mind and so forth went to me, fooling myself. And I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about this kind of stuff. I was just playing with my children and trying to point out planes to my son because it made him laugh, and it happened. So it's the weirdest thing. I wish I would have had more experiences, but that's my only one in that realm. But it was a good one because it happened during the daytime. It wasn't a light in the sky. It looked like, to me, a solid object, and it flew with determination. It wasn't, a glider. I don't even know what it could have been because it was a ball. But it obviously knew where it was going. So weird.
Dude, so you mentioned a jet. There was a jet following it?
No jet. I'm saying I was looking for airplanes, and some had been over during that time that we were swinging, but not at this point. No. So there was no jets following. It was just all by itself. A ball in the sky, a lonely ball in the sky, heading northwest. That was it.
How fast was it? Was it or like?
Yeah, like I said, it took a little bit. So it took like 35, 45 seconds to get from essentially horizon to horizon. I caught it after it had come over the, in the distance. I saw it closer to me than when it went away, but about 45 seconds. So it was traveling fairly quickly, but it wasn't like, hypersonic or anything. It was traveling at a pretty fast clip across the sky, but not fast enough to where I wouldn't notice it. Yeah, it wasn't a balloon either. People said that too. It's round, it's a balloon. No, because the balloon doesn't go across, from horizon to horizon in 45 seconds.
Oh,
what a balloon does.
yeah.
And it wasn't a balloon anyway, but yeah.
Ah, man. And like,
but it was a good experience. And so Miles was asking me, what do you think was alien? I don't know if it was aliens. I mean, it certainly could have been some type of military thing, but they've never admitted to it. Yeah, I remember that. The woodcut. Yeah.
so before I talk about this
Nuremberg.
one, dude, Bob, that's I don't even know where to start. It's amazing. Like, so one more question. So since that event, you never witnessed anything similar after that?
No.
Okay.
Nothing.
So you're not like the chosen one. They just
No.
because I need to ask because some people they like I saw them and then the next evening they came into my bedroom and they raped me.
No.
I don't know. Like some
No.
people really get crazy with those stories, right?
I've not been assaulted by aliens, as far as I know. Yeah.
Because that's what normally people go with. I was like, and then it's like,
No, it's a one-off. It's a total. So far, it's a one-off.
I see. Okay.
I can tell you two other weird things that I've seen in the sky, but they're not UFOs because I know exactly what they were. And one happened last night.
What?
For yours? Yes. So I live kind of out in the country, and I have a large yard, and then there's woods at the back. And where I sit to watch television is by a large glass door, right? And so at night, while I'm sitting there watching, I look outside and I can see planes go overhead. You see plane lights because it's St. Louis has got a big airport and planes go over. And so last night I was sitting there and I looked out the window and I saw something that just came over the trees, and it had a blue light and a red light, and it flew over my house.